Hey, y'all, this is John Berry, and you're listening to the Nothing Shocking podcast.
Want to know what's going on in the world of music? Then tune in to the Nothing Shocking podcast, a non-genre based, all ages friendly rock and roll program. Join us weekly for interviews with all your favorite rock stars from the mainstream to the underground. You can find us at nothingshocking.libsyn.com or anywhere you download podcasts.
We're putting the band back together.
The numbers all go to 11.
I'm talking about bands that rock. Led Zeppelin. What about Sabbath? AC/DC. Motorhead.
Does that mean it's louder? Is it any louder?
Well, it's one louder, isn't it?
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
I get up off the ground and raise my head. Days like this, think I should be dead. One for Satan, two for me. Let's cheat the devil, it's fun, don't you agree?
Welcome to the Nothing Shocking podcast. I'm your co-host, Jeff Untied, and with me in Dog Bowl Studio is
Coach Nez.
You can find the Nothing Shocking podcast on Libsyn or any podcatchers. Like our Facebook page or follow us on X at No Shock Pod.
You can also find the Nothing Shocking podcast on Rock Rage Radio every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Central Time. Our sponsor is Big Strix Vinyl Records and Sports Cards, located in Rock Island, Illinois. New, vintage, and previously owned. You can find it at Big Strix. We would like to thank the Hong Kong Sleepover for allowing us to use their music for our intro and bumper ending. Tonight's guest is
John Berry, Grammy Award-winning country artist.
Yeah, promoting the 29th annual Christmas with John Berry tour, and it kicks off on November 28th in Sugar Hill, Georgia. Fantastic interview. Let's get to it.
All right, good night.
Good night, and Merry Christmas. John, welcome to the Nothing Shocking podcast. I'd like to introduce you by co-host Jeff Untied.
John, thanks for joining us today.
Good to be with you. Appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. So let's get right into this. So the 29th annual Christmas with John Berry tour kicks off November 28th in Sugar Hill, Georgia. What can your fans expect on this version of the 2025 tour this year?
Well, it's our 29th year doing it, and it's progressed over the years, but over the past 10, 11 years, 12 years, we kind of got a formula that works really well. We do a two-part show. The first part we do is about 55 minutes of hits and maybe whatever our most recent album is, or maybe an album cut we haven't done in a long time, some things like that. And then after intermission, we come back and we do about an hour and 10 minutes of Christmas. And we've got a wonderful band. This year we've got, of course, my wife Robin's been singing with me for years. And Mike Steele's been playing bass with me since 1984, ever since the Ark landed. And then we've got Chris Brown on drums. This is Chris. Chris played with me for 20 years, and he's not been with me for about the past 10, but he's back now. And we got a couple of great guitar players, and this is a great band. And got a great lighting rig and sound rig. It's going to sound great. It's going to look great. And we just have a lot of fun celebrating Christmas.
Fantastic.
Nice. I think there's 13 dates on the initial tour with a possibility of maybe some more to come. Can you talk a little bit about the venues that you're going to be playing in?
Yeah, actually, I think we're up to 17 now, if I'm not mistaken. And but we play a lot of small theaters, anything from 800 to 1,500 seat theaters. We're playing the Grand Opera House in Macon, Georgia. This will be our 29th year there. And it's about 1,600 seats, I think, 16, 17. And it's a wonderful old theater, and been around for a long, long time. And just love playing that place. One of my favorite places to play. just we play some. This year we're going to be in South Carolina in a little place called the Rob, which is more of it's a multi-event space, and there's a promoter who's rented the space and is bringing us in for the show. And is an area of South Carolina I have not played before, so we'll see how that goes. And then we're in Aiken, South Carolina, which is my hometown, and playing at the University of South Carolina campus in Aiken, and playing this wonderful little theater they've got there, little 886 seat room. I love getting to play that place, at the Etheridge Center. And so we have a variety of different kind of places we play, but it's always a lot of fun.
Fantastic. I guess this kind of goes along to the question about venues you're playing at. But when it comes to setting this tour up, when it comes to cities, do you try to visit the same cities year to year, or do you try to mix it up, or how does the formula work for you?
There are some we play every year, and then there's some we play like every other year, and then we always try to rotate. There's some venues just don't like to have the same music every year. They want to have you every 4 years or something. Yeah. And then we always try to get some new places. So.
Well, just to follow on that, I read in maybe some past tour you had a few played in churches. Is there any setup for this tour?
No, we don't have any churches inviting us to come play this year, and we do from time to time. I've done a couple of Christian albums. I'm a believer in Christ. It's a huge part of my life, and I've done. We did an album maybe 10, 12 years ago called "Real Man, Real Life, Real God." That's one of my favorite records I've done. We're actually doing a song off that album this year on the tour. We've never played it live. I can remember a song called "I Go to You," and then there's another song on my most recent album. It's a gospel record called "Find My Joy," and we recorded that right after I recovered from cancer treatments. Yeah. And so with a very grateful heart and thankful to God for His healing, we went in and recorded this album that I love so much. It's called "Find My Joy." It's a collection of 4 new songs of faith and 6 old classic hymns like "How Great Thou Art" and "Blessed Assurance" and "Great Is Thy Faithfulness." So we're doing a song off that album. It's called "Live Like You," and the chorus is "I Want to Live Like You." So it's a great song, and we're going to close the first part of the show with that song, actually.
Fantastic. With this being your 29th year of this holiday tour, how challenging is it for you to evolve your set list? Is it something you try to stay pretty consistent with year to year, or do you move things around, add new songs? How does it work?
Well, much like we play a lot of the same cities and we add cities and we play some every few years. Same thing with songs. There are some songs we have to do every year. If we don't do them, there's going to be some really upset people. And then there's some songs we rotate in every 4 or 5 years, every other year, and then we try to find something new to slip in there every year if we can. So same kind of thing as doing the dates. Just try to mix it up a little bit, trying to keep it fresh. This year is going to be a little different because we added an extra. A friend of ours is going to come play acoustic guitars and mandolin and maybe a couple of other things. So it's gonna have an extra little zing to it. So it's gonna be fun.
Oh, very good. Well, we've had many artists on this show, and we've talked about set lists, touring set lists, what have you. And some artists find putting a set list together to be very stressful, or rather stressful. For you, is it very stressful for you to put a set list together, or do you feel pretty confident of the songs that you pick out from year to year?
Yeah, I make a playlist on my phone, and I go through them, and I'll skip next, and I'll listen to part of it, and I'll skip to the next one and see how they fit, how it all flows, and that's worked really well for me to be able to do that.
Fantastic.
Well, I guess as a singer, can you talk a little bit about how do you approach when we're getting ready to enter into the winter season and stuff like that? I'm suffering from a cold. Eric's suffering from a cold. Have you had that challenge before of you just can't do a show, or you've bolstered through it? Do you have a story of making it work?
Oh, we get through it. Yeah. We got 20 days to get in 17 shows. Let's go. And we have to bolster up on our medications and just be sure we're taking care of ourselves and get a little exercise, get plenty of sleep, drink plenty of water. I always try and get me a little steroid pack to take along, prednisone steroid pack. If I start losing my voice, I'll drink lots of water and quit talking and take a steroid pack, and it'll straighten me up pretty quick. So, but the biggest thing is if I just get in the week before rehearsal starts, because we do 4 days of rehearsal, and before rehearsal week starts, I try to sing an hour or two every night, and just to get, because it used to be, I play clubs, I play 5 nights a week, sang all the time, but now I don't sing as much as I used to, so I have to exercise those muscles and and just get kind of get the crud out, before I get there. And usually, of course, we usually do the first show. Well, we'll do rehearsal week is Thanksgiving week. We'll load in on Sunday, get every production ready, rehearse Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, pretty hard, and then on Thursday we take the day off, and then Friday we do the show run through that morning and afternoon, and then take the afternoon off, and then first show of the tour is Friday night, and the tour kicks off in the room that we've been rehearsing all week. So we found years ago that doing that, because we used to rehearse in a rehearsal facility, and then we got it all perfected and everything's ready to go, and we pack it all up, put it in a truck, go 300 miles, do the first show, and we're like, where does this go? And it's just mayhem getting that first show underway. And we discovered we did a rehearsal like this and we did the first show, and it was like having 500, 600 friends over to our house that we've been in all week long. And, we're very comfortable. Everything's working. Everything's go, so that's what we've done for the past, I don't know how many years. Sugar Hill, Georgia, the Eagle Theater in Sugar Hill has been so very kind to host us over the past 7 years.
Okay.
I think. So that's really nice.
Well, with this being the 29th annual of the Christmas tour, talk a little bit more about the tour's origins and making this all come to fruition 29 years ago.
Well, it started, Robin and I got married in summer of 1988. So we've been married 37 years. And our pastor, Robin's pastor at her church, Fred Rowell, became a dear, dear friend. And we were I guess it was in the fall of that year, and we were at church one Sunday, and Fred said, John, why don't you come do a little Christmas program for church, at church, close to Christmas. They don't call them concerts in a Baptist church.
Right.
A little Christmas program. So we put one together with me and my wife singing with me, and me playing guitar, and our Robin's sister-in-law, Tracy, who has a lovely voice, she sang with us. And then Betsy Williams, the church pianist, played piano with us. And all the church just loved it. It went over like gangbusters. And so we added the next year, and then in 89. And in 1990, my band came and joined us. I had a bass player, and Mike's been with me all these years, and a drummer and a piano player and a guitar player and a fiddle player. And then the next year, the fiddle player, who also played violin for the University of Georgia Symphony, brought 8 of his friends along from the symphony.
Yeah.
Violins and cellos and violas. And the choir joined us on some songs. It was really getting good. And then I got my record deal in 92, and in fall of 93, we done this. We kept doing it every year, and it had grown pretty big, and it was a lot of fun. And we were doing multiple nights at the church. And that fall, me and Robin were in his recording studio in Nashville working on something, and Chuck Howard, my producer, was there. And he overheard Robin and I talking about we were trying to work on the songs for that year's Christmas show. And he said, what Christmas show? What are you talking about? So we told him about our little show at church. And he said, well, you know what let's do? We should go record a couple of songs and see what we got. Well, we got into, we got past Christmas into 94. And the next time we had a window available to do something like that was not until June of 94. We were so busy. And what we did not count on is I got sick starting in February, early March of 94.
Mm-hmm.
By the time we got on into late spring, I had turned into the devil himself, I think. I was the meanest person on the planet. Yeah. And I won't go into all those details, but I was a horrible human being. I had brain surgery on May 10th of 94. The Day Your Love Amazes Me was my first #1 record.
Yeah.
It's a Hallmark movie. Then during my recovery, my producer, Chuck, called Robin and said, hey, we forgot about the recording session set up for June. I'll call and cancel it. My brilliant wife said, no, don't cancel it. John needs the distraction.
Yeah.
So we went in and recorded O Come Emmanuel and O Holy Night. And we captured something you can't make up. It was so emotional. I don't know if you've ever had a major surgery like that, but it can be so emotional. And if you're an emotional type person, it's even more so. And we just captured, Connie Ellisor, world-class violinist who played on the record. If you've got that original recording that came out on the Old Holy Night album in 95, that version, we recorded that on June 8th of 94, 28 days after brain surgery, 29 days. It was so emotional.
Wow.
And Connie Ellisor, her world-class violinist, her violin kept going out of tune. And we asked her, so what's going on? And she said, well, a month ago, we were all praying that John would survive. We didn't care if he sang again. We just wanted him to live.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there with headphones on, listening to sing this unbelievable song. And the tears are falling off my cheek onto my instrument and making it go out of tune. You can't make that up.
No.
It's one of those things that just happens. And we happen to capture it on a digital recording, and 30 years later, you can spin it, and I bet you can still feel it.
Powerful.
That's the magic of a great recording. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, how much fun was Garth having when they cut Friends in Low Places? You can feel it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's palatable. You can feel it, and you don't know why you love listening to it. You can just feel it. And that's what happened. They put O Come Emmanuel and O Holy Night into a Christmas card, and I signed them, and they sent them out to all the radio stations in America. And it said, thank you all for the support during a very difficult year. We weren't looking for any airplay on a 5.5 minute long song, but somebody played it.
Yeah, those are cool.
And it went nuts. And as they say now, it went viral.
Yeah.
Here we are, 29 years later, still doing a Christmas tour, going out celebrating the birth of Jesus.
That is remarkable. But I guess the next question I had for you is that, talk about the challenges of being able to do this year to year without a hiccup. I mean, you've been doing it 29 years straight, outside the pandemic, obviously. But we did 5 shows that year. True. Sorry about that.
We got 5 in. It was a short tour, but we still had it.
But I mean, as far as keeping it going, keeping that train going from year to year, doing this, talk a little bit more about the challenges of being able to do it from year to year.
Well, we start booking. We've already started booking next year. We have a few. Brian talks to people earlier this year. Well, we can't do this year, but can we get 26? And that's it. He says, I'll call you before Thanksgiving. So he's already on the phone with here pushing the end of November, locking up. Because now there's some cities like the ones that are what we call legacy dates that we know we're going to go to. We go ahead and book. Those are already booked for next year. And so we start plugging in around that, building the tour. And the legacy dates are typically the week before Thanksgiving. The week right leading up to Christmas, and the week before the end of the week before that. And so we start loading up everything from, the Sugar Hill date is always the Thanksgiving weekend after Thanksgiving. And so we start after that. We start booking up that Saturday and Sunday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to start going and lining them up as best we can. And sometimes we have holes. This year we got a couple of holes we couldn't fill, and we just claim that as a day of rest, and don't worry about it.
Fantastic.
So we'd love to fill them, but if we can't fill them, God's got us. So.
Fantastic. Well, I think I also read you guys have coming up here soon a live album from the Country Music Cruise, over 20 songs.
Yeah, we recorded that on the Country Music Cruise this past January, and the production company did a fabulous job producing it and mixing it and all that stuff. It sounds wonderful. It's just, it's not a big audience on a cruise ship, but it was a lot of fun, and we had a great time. And the band, this is live with my band. It's live, and it's great. They did a great job, and it sounds great. And it's all the hits. I think there's one or two album cuts that we love throwing in the show, but it's basically a live hits record, and it was a lot of fun to do.
Oh, so cool.
Nice.
You talked at the beginning of this interview about the players that are joining you for this tour, but for 29 years of doing this, how much of a revolving door of musicians have you had joining you throughout the years?
Well, we've had a lot. I think this is only the second. Mike's been with me almost the entire time.
Very good.
Bass. It's only the first drummer was Chris Brown. He was with me for 20 years, and then he had some knee surgery and some health things, and had to get off the road. So my son Kalen took over, and Kalen's a remarkable drummer. And but earlier this year, he and his family moved out to Texas, where my older son lives, and so they live very close to each other and raising their kids next to each other and having a great time. And so Kalen's he's gone to live a quieter, simpler life, and I can understand that. Praise God. But oddly enough, Chris Brown, my original drummer, is back playing with us for the last whatever years I do this. And so I've had two drummers in 29 years.
Fantastic.
And keyboard players, I've had 5 or 6 over the years. Guitar players, I've had probably 29. No, I'm just kidding. Guitar players, they change gigs like girlfriends. No, no. But yeah, I've had a few. I've had Brian Cameron play guitar with me the past 5 or 6 years, and he landed a remarkable production tech job with a big company out in Texas, and he just couldn't turn it down. It'd be stupid. I mean, it's a great paying gig, but he can't tour anymore. And I said, brother, I'm going to miss you, but go take care of your family.
Yeah.
That's more important. And I really hate it, because he's a great guy and a great player. But we've been blessed. We got 2 guys coming in, playing acoustic guitar and electric guitars and mandolin and Get Joe and some other things. And one of them's an old friend of my bass player, Michael's, and the other one's an old friend of our drummer, Chris Brown. So they're going to fit right in. It's going to give a different tone to the show this year, which I'm excited about. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, so cool.
It's always fun talking to you guys and different artists, and especially ones you got been around a little while, at least long enough that you've been in that proper studio, you've recorded in a studio, so you've got session players and regular band members and different things like that. Do you have a story from recording in a studio?
Well, I've got so many great memories of recording with great musicians, and I've had some great players like Brent Mason's played guitar on a bunch of my records, and Brent's probably one of the greatest studio session guitar players ever, and just a great guy. And he's played on several records, and he actually kind of helped orchestrate one of co-produce a record with me. My last record that I did, the Faith record, Find My Joy, was produced by Steve Dorff. Yeah. And if your listeners don't know who Steve Dorff is, I can bet you anything there are songs to the soundtrack of your life that he's written or produced. It's amazing. And we did that album with a small band and a 45-piece string orchestra. And talk about an amazing, wonderful sound. I had to go when the orchestra was recording their sections, recording their parts. I went and sat in the middle and just listened.
Nice.
No headphones. All I heard was them playing. I didn't hear me singing or any of the other instruments, just them. And it was like, how did 45 people play with such perfection, perfect timing, perfect note? It's crazy.
Yeah.
It was the most inspiring thing I think I've ever heard. The gift that God gives in talent to so many people to do so many different things like that. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
When this year's Christmas tour concludes, what can your fans expect in 2026 from you outside of next year's Christmas tour?
Well, we're trying to get ducks in a row to cut a new record, because I haven't done one. The last one came out in 20. I guess we recorded it at night. It came out around Christmas of 2019. So what? 6 years ago? 7 years ago? Was that long? Mm-hmm. So it's time for a new record without a doubt. I'm no spring chicken, so I don't know how many more I got in me. So we'll see if we can't get us a really good one out here in case it ends up being wrapping it up. So, I mean, I'm 66 now, so the clock is ticking.
Very good.
Plus, I don't want to be that guy who tours so long he can't sing anymore. You know, he can't hit the notes anymore. I don't want to be that guy. And plus, I got 3 grandchildren and one on the way. And I want to go be Papa.
Yeah.
And sing them lullabies. Yeah. I want to go do that. So, and I'll go do it. I'm not sure exactly how many more years, but we'll go do it, and until we know it's the right time to say adios, amigos.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, it's also the 30th anniversary of 1996's Faces album. Do you got any plans to? I mean, you probably already play hits off that one, but do you got anything in the works for celebrating that?
Well, we'll probably do something. They might do some sort of little radio thing for folks just to go through and hit some highlights and have a few stories about that. And we're gonna in our shows we'll highlight some songs from that album, especially ones that were not hits for me, that were just great album cuts that never really saw the light of day, because that happens all the time. There's 10 songs on an album, and if you got three singles or 4 singles, there's 6 songs a lot of people never hear, or if they have heard them, they don't get to hear them in shows a lot, because I walk in and do a show and I got 90 minutes and I play the hit songs and a couple more, and I'm at it. I'm at my hit, and it's not that I want to quit. So the promoters they've hired me for a certain block of time, and they've got another act coming on after me or before me or whatever, and it sort of limits how long I'm able to perform. So
yeah, very good. I got one last question for you, then we'll leave you alone for the evening.
Sure.
As album sales, as the tangible product goes, the physical copy is not what it was, and it's never going to be again. For you, being going out on tour, during the Christmas holiday season, how important is merchandise, your merchandising, for you, importance for your I guess well-being, financial well-being when it comes to touring and supplementing your income?
Well, it's very important, because it is a good portion of our annual income on the tour, and having that it helps. I mean, it helps pay the fuel bill, man, which is pretty high. But we still sell a lot of CDs, and because I sign autographs after every show. I sit out in the lobby and visit with folks, and I'm the last one to leave. And my wife was a little, because my wife creates all the merch. T-shirts, whatever it happens to be, and we really hate the fact I didn't have a new album this year, because that's a big thing, having a new piece of merchandise to sell. And we were hoping that the live CD from the ship would have been ready to take with us, but it wasn't ready, and the physical copies were not ready. And so I guess we'll get those whenever we get them. But so she's she comes up with some really great T-shirt designs and ball caps and other things, and we won't have a whole lot of new stuff this year, but we've got what we got, and we don't worry about it. God's been faithful to see us through everything else. He can see us through the lack of a few extra CD sales.
Well, we're out of our allotted time for the evening. Is there anything that we left off tonight that you would like to plug or promote?
Well, I would love for people to go to my website, johnberry.com. And the reason I want you to go there is not for anything else. I hope you'll rummage around and see what you see and enjoy that. But click on the podcast, Faith, Family, and Friends. My wife and I did that during COVID. Mm-hmm. And we'd like to start it back up again before too long. But I want you to go and click on the interview with Charlie Daniels. Yeah. Mm. Charlie, I've known him a long time. His manager represented me for 5 years back in the early 90s when I had all my hits and all that stuff. And Charlie was very good to me and very kind. We talked with him, and 6 days later he died.
Oh.
And he talked about being in heaven, I think my wife said 4, maybe 5 times in the first 20 minutes.
Mm.
I mean, he just shared his heart and his love for Christ and his love for people. I don't know how many folks know Charlie. A lot of them, big old rough looking biker country dude. Yes. He loved his fans. He loved getting to play for them. He loved getting to sing for people. And he loved getting to be with folks on the road. And if you get a chance, go listen to it. It took me months to go back and edit that podcast because I couldn't listen to it. My heart was so broken losing Charlie. And I finally went and it ended up, I didn't edit a single sound he uttered. I edited some of my stupid remarks, some of my stupid, that stuff. But I left every sound he made because there is no more. And it's just a sweet, sweet conversation between me and Robin and Charlie. And you'll thoroughly enjoy it. I promise.
We're definitely tuning in.
I'm going to go check that out.
This is how things are going to work out. Your publicist notified us to release this episode about a couple of days or week before your tour starts. So that's what we're going to do. Does that sound okay?
Awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And people go to johnberry.com and click on the tour page and see if there's a show coming up near you. And daggone Dubuque, Iowa, come on, y'all call me. I want to come sing there again.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, we want to thank you for being on the podcast tonight. Like I said, we'll get this all cleaned up and ready right before your tour starts. Jeff, the editing wizard over here, he does a fantastic job at it. John, thank you so much. It was an honor.
You.
Hey, guys, thank you so much for letting me be on with you.
Hey, we enjoyed it. And once Jeff gets this all cleaned up, we'll send it to you and your publicist immediately. Sound good?
Thank you so much. Anything I can do for y'all call me anytime.
All right. Thanks, John.
Yeah. Thank you, John.
Thank you, fellas.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
nights. Fight the grip of death. You can have the air you need, but you best not take one breath. Hey. Roll the dice. Take your chances. Everybody knows the game is fixed, there is no prize. Everybody pulls the plug and says their last goodbyes. Move to the sunshine, fight the grip of nights. If they ever